a push for diplomacy amid growing global instability. Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan has held talks with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov in Moscow, focusing on Ukraine, the Middle East and the future of Turkish-Russian cooperation. Turkey has repeatedly positioned itself as a mediator between Moscow and Kyiv and used the meeting to renew calls for diplomacy.
Our country's primary priority is to bring Russia and Ukraine back to the negotiating table. Provided the parties agree, we are also prepared to discuss ways of advancing negotiations in a more results-oriented manner. The recent escalation of the war in Ukraine and the danger of the conflict spreading further is a cause for serious concern. In particular, the increase in attacks of rare area targets and attacks that threaten maritime safety in the Black Sea, which harm the interests of third parties, underscore the need for measures to de-escalate the situation.
Lavrov said Moscow values Turkey's contribution to finding a peaceful settlement to the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. The Russian foreign minister also repeated Moscow's stance on Ukraine and NATO and criticized what he described as Europe's increasing militarization.
We categorically oppose Ukraine being drawn into NATO, but we had no objections about the accession of Ukraine to the EU. Now the nature of the EU has changed seriously. Britain promotes an active military formation from the most active Russophobic countries.
Discussing US-Israeli war on Iran, Turkish Foreign Minister Fidan said any further disruption to shipping through the Strait of Hormuz could affect economic stability far beyond the region. He welcomed diplomatic efforts by countries, including Pakistan, and called for open and transparent diplomacy to prevent further escalation. The Turkish Foreign Minister added that preserving the ceasefire in Gaza remains essential. Energy, trade and future areas of cooperation featured prominently on the agenda as both sides stressed the importance of continued engagement.
The message coming from these meetings is that diplomacy remains the preferred path for addressing conflicts stretching from Ukraine to the Middle East. While differences remain on key issues, Ankara and Moscow are presenting dialogue as the only way forward. Dasha Chernyshova, TRT World, Moscow.